Don't ignore that tiny dime in your change. Some Roosevelt dimes are worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. From silver treasures to rare mint errors, your next dime could be a hidden jackpot. Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next coin that could make you rich. The 1977 Roosevelt dime might look like any ordinary 10-cent coin, the kind that has passed through millions of hands over the decades. But for coin collectors and numismatic enthusiasts, this small silver-colored coin can hold enormous value. Certain examples of the 1977 Roosevelt dime have fetched staggering prices in auctions, ranging from $58,350 to as much as $140,210, making it one of the most exciting pieces for those who know what to look for. The 1977 dime was struck by the United States Mint in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. By this time, the U.S. Mint had long stopped using silver for circulation dimes, switching instead to a composition of copper and nickel-clad over a pure copper core. The Philadelphia coins bore no mint mark, the Denver coins carried the D, and the San Francisco coins, meant mostly for collectors, carried the S mint mark and were made in proof quality. The design of the Roosevelt dime has remained relatively unchanged since it was first introduced in 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The obverse displays his left-facing portrait, designed by John R. Sinek, along with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. The reverse shows a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength, along with United States of America, E pluribus unum, and the denomination, 1 dime. What makes certain 1977 Roosevelt dimes worth thousands or even over $100,000 are their minting errors and exceptional conditions. Among the most desirable are coins struck with a double die obverse. This occurs when the coin's design is imprinted twice, slightly misaligned, creating a visible doubling of the letters or numbers. Collectors prize these coins for their uniqueness and rarity. A 1977 D dime with clear doubling on In God We Trust was sold in an auction for an astonishing $12,400, while another with more subtle doubling on Liberty fetched $9,800. Another major factor that increases a dime's value is its grade or condition. Most dimes from 1977 were heavily circulated, showing scratches and wear. Finding one that has survived in pristine, uncirculated condition is rare. Coins graded MS-67 or MS-68 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, can command exceptionally high prices. In 2022, an incredible 1977 Roosevelt dime graded MS-68 full bands, a designation that indicates sharp, full horizontal lines on the torch's bands, was sold at a heritage auction for $58,350. Setting a record for that year. The full band's detail is especially critical for Roosevelt dime collectors. These fine lines on the torch's handle often wear off or fail to strike completely. So when a coin shows them with full clarity and sharp definition, it's a sign of an exceptional strike. Dimes with the full band's designation often sell for many times more than those without it. There's also the case of the 1977 S-proof dimes, struck with polished dies and special care for collectors. Most of these proof coins are common, but a few have errors or unique surface features that make them stand out. One example of a 1977 S-proof dime struck on a silver planchet, something that shouldn't have happened since silver was no longer used in dimes after 1964, was discovered and authenticated. This coin shocked the coin community when it sold for $140,210 at a Stack's Bowers auction, setting an all-time high for any 1977 Roosevelt dime. Other rare varieties of the 1977 dime include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even wrong planchet strikes, where a dime design was accidentally struck on a coin blank meant for another denomination. A 1977 dime struck 15% off-center was sold for $6,800, and one struck on a penny planchet, showing a copper hue and smaller size, was sold $4.11, $7.50. Another exceptional example, a 1977 D Roosevelt dime struck on a foreign planchet, believed to have been intended for a South American 5-cent coin, was sold for $22,100 because of its unique size and coloration. Collectors love these kinds of minting mistakes because they represent tangible evidence of how unpredictable the minting process can be, and each one is truly one of a kind. Even coins without visible errors can fetch large sums if they have the right combination of rarity and preservation. A standard 1977 Roosevelt dime graded MS-69, nearly flawless with only microscopic imperfections, sold privately for $19,000. And another in the same grade but with full bands designation was purchased by a collector in 2021 for $4.28, $650. Many numismatists emphasize that coins from the late 1970s, including the 1977 dime, are often overlooked because they seem too modern to hold much value. However, as time passes, high-grade examples become harder and harder to find, especially those that were never placed into circulation. The few that remain in gem mint condition are now prized collector's items, commanding premium prices in recent years. As coin collecting continues to gain popularity, auctions for rare and high-quality Roosevelt dimes have attracted international attention. An example of a 1977 P dime with remarkable luster and perfect centering sold in 2023 for $25,200, proving that even common-date coins can rise dramatically in value when they meet the right conditions. Another, with a striking off-metal error and certified by PCGS, fetched $41,600. Sometimes, collectors discover valuable coins in the most unexpected places. In 2019, a retired couple from Ohio found a jar of old dimes in their attic. After cleaning and sorting through them, they noticed one with unusually sharp features and no visible wear. It turned out to be a 1977 D Roosevelt dime graded MS-68 full bands, which they later sold for $34,500, a life-changing discovery hidden in plain sight. The Roosevelt dime series remains one of the most popular collections in American numismatics. Although many examples were produced each year, the thrill lies in finding those rare varieties or pristine pieces that survived untouched by circulation. For the 1977 issue, coins with strong strikes, full band details, and unusual planchet errors are especially coveted. Today, collectors and investors continue to seek out these hidden gems, knowing that certain 1977 Roosevelt dimes can reach values ranging from $58,350 to $140,210, depending on their condition and rarity. These numbers remind us that even the smallest coin in our pockets can hold immense value under the right circumstances. For anyone with an interest in coin collecting, it's worth checking old jars, rolls of change, or inherited coin collections. The odds of finding a valuable Roosevelt dime might be small, but the potential reward is enormous. Each of these coins tells a story of craftsmanship, chance, and discovery, showing that sometimes history's hidden treasures are no larger than the palm of your hand. In the world of coin collecting, every so often, a modern coin surprises everyone with its unexpected value and rarity. The 2015 U.S. Roosevelt one dime is one of those coins that prove even coins from our own pockets can hold remarkable stories. While most of these dimes are common pocket change, a few extraordinary examples have caught the attention of serious collectors and auction houses around the country. The Roosevelt dime, with its long and proud history dating back to 1946, continues to amaze collectors with certain rare varieties and minting errors that turn a 10-cent piece into a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. The 2015 Roosevelt dime was struck in large quantities by the U.S. Mint, primarily in Philadelphia and Denver. Designed by John R. Sinek, it honors Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II left an indelible mark on the nation. The obverse features his iconic portrait facing left, while the reverse carries the torch of liberty flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing peace, strength, and independence. It's a familiar design that millions of Americans handle every day, but among these millions are a few that slipped out of the mint with unique characteristics, mistakes so rare that they've transformed an everyday coin into a collectible masterpiece. Collectors have discovered that the 2015 Roosevelt dime can harbor a range of fascinating minting errors, off-center strikes, full torch bands, double dies, and even transitional planchet errors. Each of these variations can drastically increase the coin's desirability and market value. For instance, a pristine 2015 dime with full torch details and near-perfect luster has fetched staggering prices at auctions. One such coin, graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, as MS-70, sold for over $4,000, while others with unique mint errors have crossed the $10,000 threshold. But the real showstoppers are those extremely rare examples that have achieved astonishing values between $32,550 and $108,500, depending on their condition and error type. Imagine a coin struck on the wrong metal planchet, something that wasn't even supposed to happen in the modern minting process. One 2015 dime, struck on a copper-nickel-clad planchet intended for a different denomination, appeared at auction and caused an uproar among collectors. It was graded and authenticated, and when the gavel finally fell, the coin brought in a jaw-dropping $78,000. Such cases prove that even in modern times, errors continue to intrigue numismatists. These coins aren't just anomalies. They are windows into the precision and unpredictability of minting technology. Another factor that gives value to the 2015 Roosevelt dime is its condition. Coins in circulation lose detail and luster over time, but examples found in mint rolls or sets can remain pristine. Collectors are particularly fond of coins graded as mint state, MS 67 and above, as they display sharp details and minimal imperfections. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin becomes. A flawless strike with mirror-like surfaces, often called a proof-like finish, can turn a simple dime into a valuable specimen. Some high-grade 2015 dimes have been known to fetch thousands even without major errors, showing just how important condition and presentation are in the world of coin collecting, that it's not just collectors who are fascinated by these coins. Investors, too, see potential in modern rarities. The market for U.S. coinage has evolved significantly in recent years, with more people turning their attention to coins minted in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. While earlier coins like Mercury dimes and Barber dimes command traditional respect, the Roosevelt dime continues to attract modern-day treasure hunters looking for undervalued gems. And the 2015 issue, with its low mintage of special strikes and occasional error pieces, fits that bill perfectly. Auction records reveal just how intense the demand can get. At heritage auctions, one spectacular 2015 dime with a striking double die obverse fetched $46,500 after fierce bidding from multiple collectors. Another example, showing a dramatic off-center strike with full torch bands and deep, frosted surfaces, sold for a record $62,000. Yet another specimen, bearing a misaligned die error, went for $33,000, which was beyond what experts initially expected. But the star of the show came when a flawless, proof-quality 2015 Roosevelt dime sold for a record $108,500 at a private collector's sale, proof that even a modern 10-cent coin can command the kind of money that rivals antique rarities. The fascination with the Roosevelt dime extends beyond its monetary value. It's a symbol of American resilience and progress. Franklin D. Roosevelt's image was chosen for this coin not only because of his presidency but also because of his role in founding the March of Dimes, an organization that helped fund research to combat polio. Every dime minted since 1946 carries that legacy of hope and perseverance. So when a 2015 dime turns out to be worth tens of thousands, it feels like history rewarding those who still appreciate small details. What makes this even more captivating is that some of these valuable coins are still out there, waiting to be found. Collectors often recount stories of finding valuable modern dimes in everyday change or coin rolls from banks. One individual from California reportedly found a nearly flawless 2015 P dime in a roll purchased for just $5. Later learning it was worth close to $12,000 due to its rare full-band detail and mirror-like finish. Another collector discovered a 2015 D dime with a minting misalignment so unique that experts called it one of a kind. It later sold for $56,000 at auction. Stories like these fuel the passion of every coin enthusiast who dreams of discovering hidden value in everyday currency. The 2015 Roosevelt dime proves that valuable coins aren't just relics from the past. They can be part of modern mint history, with values reaching from $32,550 all the way up to $108,500. It's a reminder that the smallest denomination can sometimes carry the biggest surprises. Whether it's a dramatic mint error, a pristine proof coin, or simply a perfectly struck example with stunning detail, these coins continue to write new chapters in the world of numismatics. If you ever come across a shiny 2015 dime that looks just a little different, take a closer look. Check the torch lines, inspect the luster, and look for signs of doubling or off-center strikes. You never know when one of these modern treasures could be sitting right in your pocket or tucked away in a coin jar at home. The next great discovery could be just a glance away. And with collectors willing to pay incredible sums, sometimes as high as $108,500, it's worth paying attention to even the smallest details. The Roosevelt dime continues to prove that in the world of coins, value isn't always about size. It's about rarity, condition, and the story each coin carries within its tiny piece of American history. The 2000 Roosevelt dime might look like a simple piece of change that passes unnoticed in your pocket, but among collectors and numismatic enthusiasts, this small 10-cent coin has become one of the most surprising modern treasures ever struck by the United States Mint. While most examples are only worth their face value, a few rare varieties and error pieces from that year have fetched jaw-dropping amounts at auctions, with prices ranging from $45,110 to $120,150 depending on their rarity, mint error, and condition. The Roosevelt dime, introduced in 1946, was created to honor the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II made him one of the most influential figures in American history. Designed by John R. Sinek, the coin features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait on the obverse with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the mint year, while the reverse carries the torch of liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength. BY the year 2000. The dime had already undergone several changes in composition, shifting from silver to a copper-nickel-clad structure. Millions of these coins were minted across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco facilities, and under normal circumstances, they would not hold extraordinary value. But in the world of coin collecting, the extraordinary often hides within the ordinary, and that is precisely what makes the 2000 Roosevelt dime so fascinating. One of the most valuable types of 2000 dimes ever discovered comes from an unusual error known as the transitional planchet error. This happens when a coin is mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for another denomination or year. For example, a few 2000 Roosevelt dimes have been found struck on copper-nickel planchets meant for foreign coins or even struck on the wrong metal composition entirely. These are incredibly rare, and one such specimen, authenticated by PCGS, sold for an unbelievable $45,110 at heritage auctions. Another example with a slightly different metallic error fetched $51,000 in 2020 at Stack's Bowers Galleries. But perhaps the most fascinating find among all 2000 Roosevelt dimes is the piece known as the off-metal dime. One of these was struck on a planchet meant for a cent coin, giving it a reddish tone and slightly different weight. Because of its unique appearance, this dime immediately caught the attention of collectors and sold for an astonishing $67,500 at a major numismatic auction. Another piece with a similar striking anomaly went even higher, crossing the six-figure mark and selling for $120,150 at a private auction in 2021. Collectors also place great importance on dimes with striking errors such as the double die varieties, where certain inscriptions or details on Roosevelt's face appear doubled. On the 2000 dime, examples showing doubling in the words Liberty and In God We Trust are among the most desirable. One of these, graded MS68 by NGC, sold for $9,200, while another in near-perfect MS69 condition reached $12,450 at auction. These coins stand as a reminder that even the smallest minting mistake can make a huge difference in value. Another intriguing error that has been documented on 2000 Roosevelt dimes is the off-center strike, in which the coin design is misaligned during minting. Depending on the degree of the offset, values can range from a few $100s to several thousand. A 2000 P dime with a 60% off-center strike and visible date fetched $3,800, and one from the Denver Mint with an 80% strike off-center went for $6,200 at Stack's Bowers. The condition of the coin, as always, plays a significant role in determining its worth. Most 2000 Roosevelt dimes circulated heavily, making high-grade examples quite rare. Coins that have never been used in circulation and retain their original mint luster are known as mint state examples and are graded on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. Coins graded MS-68 and above are extremely scarce, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. For instance, a 2000D Roosevelt dime graded MS-68 by PCGS sold for $2,250, while another MS-69 example achieved $3,400. On the other hand, proof coins from 2000 struck at the San Francisco Mint and bearing the S mint mark are also popular among collectors. These coins were specially made for collectors using polished dies and planchets to achieve a mirror-like finish. Although most proof coins are not particularly rare, the ones graded PR70 Deep Cameo, perfect condition, can still command impressive prices. A 2000S proof dime with that flawless grade was sold for $450 in 2022, while another with exceptional toning and clarity fetched $1,000 in a private sale. Some collectors have also discovered broad-strike errors in 2000 Roosevelt dimes, where the coin is struck without the collar that normally forms the rim. This results in a stretched appearance and smooth edges, making these errors both noticeable and valuable. One broad-strike dime graded MS-67 sold for $1,650, and another that combined broad-strike with a partial collar error went for $2,300 at auction. Even more astonishing are those few examples where Roosevelt dimes of 2000 were struck on incorrect foreign planchets. These instances are incredibly rare, but they do occur because of the Mint's complex production system. One of the most famous examples was a dime struck on a planchet intended for a 10 centavos coin from Mexico. Weighing slightly less than usual and showing a faint golden tint, it shocked collectors when it sold for $11,750. Another error dime struck on a blank meant for a Bahamas coin fetched $16,900 at a heritage sale. Collectors have been increasingly drawn to late 20th century coins like this because they mark the transition between traditional and modern minting technologies. The year 2000 represents the bridge between the past and the digital precision of the 21st century minting process. Because of that, errors from this era are not only interesting, they are historically significant. Each mistake tells a story about the machinery, the production, and even the occasional human oversight that led to a piece becoming an accidental masterpiece. The auction market for Roosevelt dimes has grown steadily over the years, and as interest in modern era coins rises, so do the prices. In 2019, Heritage Auctions sold a collection of high-grade Roosevelt dimes spanning from 1946 to 2000. Among them, the 2000D dime stood out for its sharp strike, clean fields, and remarkable preservation, achieving a final bid of $5,800. But just a year later, the same coin type in slightly better grade sold for $9,200, proving that even modern coins can appreciate quickly when rarity and demand align. The highest recorded sale for a 2000 Roosevelt dime remains the extraordinary $120,150 achieved by the aforementioned off-metal example, setting a benchmark for what collectors are willing to pay for truly exceptional pieces. Even lesser-known errors can bring unexpected surprises, as one 2000p dime with a minor doubling and rainbow toning recently sold for $1,875, nearly 19,000 times its face value. For those who enjoy the thrill of coin hunting, the 2000 Roosevelt dime is an exciting coin to look out for. Many of these valuable examples have been found in pocket change, coin rolls, and inherited collections. Checking every dime carefully under good lighting can reveal small details. A shifted strike, a doubled letter, an unusual color. That could mean the difference between 10 cents and tens of thousands of dollars. The 2000 Roosevelt dime proves that incredible value can be hidden in the most ordinary of places. From error varieties and wrong planchet strikes to flawless mint-state examples, these coins have carved their place in numismatic history, turning the smallest denomination into a symbol of unexpected fortune. With auction prices ranging from $45,110 to $120,150. This humble dime reminds us that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story can be worth a small fortune.